我们节目即将开始。Okay, it's about time. Let's wait for 30 seconds. 请大家稍稍等一下哈，我们在等，有其他人也陆续进来，再给1分钟。我们第2现场的这个合唱团已经唱起来了，音乐相当的迷人好听。好，现在时间是10点03分，那我们来开始我们建安的这个年度大戏哈。现在节目即将开始哈。OK， 好，请大家把你们家的声音呢开到最大，接下来的2个半小时好好欣赏我们的节目。好。Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kin'an 2022 Seniors Day, where we will enjoy wonderful performances and also celebrate this year's Mid-Autumn Festival. 大家早安，大家好。早晨，大家早，大家好。안녕하세요。오하요 gozaimasu。您好，我是明珍 Alice， 非常开心，今天是我们建安2020年中秋敬老日，非常欢迎大家到我们节目来。那现场现在有我们的 CEO， 跟大家说几句话。那在这之前呢，我们会请我们的中控呢播放今天节目的一些注意事项，请大家慢慢欣赏，谢谢大家。Candy， 现在把时间交给 Candy。Candy 是不是把声音播出来？没有听见声音哦。Candy 你可以播放声音吗？我可以拿字。是我们现在看到我们的现场，现在播放跟大家说一下我们节目前开启前的一些事项哈。Candy 请你把它播到第1页。
你好 ¿Cómo está?
你好 Chào quý vị
您好
Hello
We're Kin'an. As a nonprofit, we speak your language with culturally sensitive health and community solutions for Asian adults, elders, and their families. For more than 30 years, Kin'an has helped people age well with a progressive circle of care that includes healthy living programs, volunteering, home care, caregiver support, health rehabilitation, residential services, and skilled nursing. We're here when you need us, with the right services at the right time, in the right combination. Our Healthy Living program offers a full schedule of exercise, education, and social activities to help keep you mentally sharp, physically active, and socially connected. You can also stay connected to your community by volunteering, teach a class, help out in the office, or visit with residents. Your gifts of time, money, and talent help us to live our mission. Need help at home? Kin'an offers home care services that includes housekeeping, shopping, transportation, and personal hygiene. If you're caring for a loved one at home, Kin'an can support you with chronic care classes, in-home support, and respite care. When living at home is no longer possible, Kinan offers a variety of living solutions, including assisted living apartments, an adult family home, and a skilled nursing center. Each are culturally sensitive, serving the Asian foods residents love and speaking the languages they understand. Need rehabilitation services after a medical event? You can recover in the comfort of your own home, or stay at our rehabilitation and care center, or use a mix of both to support your recovery on your terms. Whatever you need, Kinan is true to you. You are at the center of everything we do and every service we provide. One phone call connects you to Kinan's care navigators. We'll help you access all the services we provide. Plus, we'll stay in touch as your needs change. With Kinan, it's like having a whole family watching out for you. And if we don't have what you're looking for, we'll help you find it, including assistance with social services, access to nonprofit agencies, and navigating Medicare, Medicaid, or insurance claims. One call does it all. Start young. We look forward to helping you live long and age strong. At Kinan, we're true to you every step of the way.
Hey, how? Before we start our exciting program today, let's hear from our Kingan CEO, Katie Xie. Miss Katie Xie, please.
Hi, 早安, good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Katie Xie, the new CEO at Kinan here. On behalf of Kinan, thank you for joining us at our annual Seniors Day celebration. This year, our Seniors Day is even more special because today is also Mid-Autumn Festival, 中秋节. So we're so honored that you're celebrating the day with us. I've only been here for about 3 months, but I've seen many of you at our community center dancing, play mahjong, playing ping pong, socializing. So I know that many of you also have been staying engaged and active through our virtual program as well and working on projects from home. So today, we're very excited to showcase your talents and your contribution to the community. As you have just heard, as you have just heard from our intro video, Kinan continues to expand over the years. So we first started in 1985 with just a nursing home, and now we offer home care, caregiver support services, health home care coordinates.
你们有没有听到他声音没有？根本没有听到，不知道讲什么。有史以来犯的最差劲的一次。
哎呀，不好意思，声音等一下再放大一点哈，请稍等，请稍等。
9点半开始到现在还没有。
现在已经。
Okay, can you hear us? Can you hear me now? Everyone? Okay, all right. Take 2. Let's start again. Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome. 早安. I'm Katie Xie, the new CEO at Kinan. On behalf of Kinan, thank you for joining us at our annual Seniors Day celebration. This year's Senior Day is even extra special because today is also Mid-Autumn Festival, 中秋节. So we are so honored that you are celebrating the day with us. I've only been at Kinan for about 3 months, but I've already seen many of you here at the community center playing mahjong, dancing, play ping pong, doing yoga, and socializing. I also know that many of you have stayed active and stay engaged with us through our virtual programs and working on projects from home. So today, I'm very excited to celebrate your talents and contributions to our community. As you have just heard from our intro video, Kinan continues to expand over the years. We started in 1985, almost 40 years ago, with our nursing home. And now we have home care, caregiver support services, health home care coordination, assisted living apartments, and of course, we have also our wellness and education through healthy living programs. All of this is made possible because of the generosity of our community. We are so fortunate to have you to be part of our community and supporting Kinan throughout these years, including so many of you who have donated your time and money to support us. I'm really, really grateful for that. I'm also grateful for having you as a participant in our programs. And many, many thanks to you for standing by Kinan. And before I hand over to my colleagues here and start our program today, I just want to wish you all a very, very happy Mid-Autumn Festival. 祝大家中秋节快乐。谢谢。Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. 现在让我们来欣赏我们才华洋溢的我们这些。Thank you, Katie, for today's speaking. And also, she's our new CEO. We're looking for more new, different things, not good things happening to King An. 感谢 Katie 到我们现场来帮我们致辞。我们非常期待在他的领导之下，建安可以走出新的蓬勃的道路。现在就让我们来欣赏我们才华洋溢的会员们，我们的社区成员们，他们精心为大家所准备的各项节目。现在我把现场时间交给我们的主持人如萍。
谢谢我们的 CEO， 然后也谢谢大家。Now let's welcome our first act of the day to the stage, ukulele. The moon represents my heart, presented by Wendy Ong. 我们欢迎 Wendy Ong 的乌克丽丽的自弹自唱，月亮代表我的心。
The moon represents your heart. Happy Moon Festival. Here we go. 你问我爱你有多深，我爱你有几分？我的情已尽，我的爱已尽，也浪到我的心。你问我爱你有多深，我爱你有几分？我的情比我的爱比，也浪到我的心。轻轻地有个吻，已经打到我的心，深深的有多情，计划诉你到如今。你问我爱你有多深，我爱你有几分？你是上一上，你是上一上，你是二上的看啊看。也浪到我的心，心。轻轻地有个吻，已经打到我的心，深深的有多情，计划诉你到如今。你问我爱你有多深，我爱你有几分？你是上一上，你是看一看，也浪到我的心。你是上一上，你是看一看，也浪到我的心。Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you very much. The next is a piece of saxophone play, 10,000 Reasons, presented by Ren Chi Lian. 我们接下来欣赏大西雅图牙友关怀协会的 Ren Chi Lian 带来的萨克斯风表演《10000个理由》。欢迎您。 Thank you. Thank you, RC, for the beautiful music. Our next one is folk dance, presented by Caitlin Pong. Miss Caitlin Pong teaches traditional folk dance at Seattle Community Center. 我们下一个表演由西雅图社区中心的潘杰玲老师为我们带来民族舞《女儿情》，让我们欢迎她。 Thank you, Miss Peng. 我们今天的节目也有知识性的分享。接下来的30分钟，我们邀请乐龄会的代表 Anna O'Callaghan 来分享如何保持脑部健康。For the next 30 minutes, we welcome Miss Anna O'Callaghan from AARP to share how to keep your brain healthy.
Thank
Hello.
you. Thank you
Yes.
so much. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to get to where I can put this full on screen. There we are. Nin hao. Happy to be here today. Thank you for inviting us to join you on today's presentation about brain health. Just wanted to mention that I am not a medical professional, but we do want to share this special advice on how you can keep your brain healthy well into future years. Please always seek the advice of a physician or other qualified healthcare provider for any diagnosis or treatment or change in what you are currently doing. So let me start with some good news about your brain health. Until recently, the prevailing scientific wisdom held that the human brain was pretty much fixed in life. And now we know that the latest research tells us that we can do a lot to change and take charge of our brain health at any age, and we can improve the quality of life as a result. Experts now tell us that only about 30% of our physical aging can be traced to our genes. The rest is up to us. So let's talk about how we can make a difference ourselves. So today we're going to be discussing what we call the 6 pillars of brain health. And you may very well have seen these in other places because they have been featured on various TV shows and other places. We're going to talk about some things that you've heard of before, but we may have a couple of surprises as well today. These 6 pillars of brain health are be social, engage your brain, manage stress, do ongoing exercise. We hear that all the time, of course. Restorative sleep and eating right, another one that we hear a lot about. But let's spend a little bit of time, talking about the ones that might be a little bit surprising to you. Being socially engaged. Now, that doesn't normally pop up at the very top of a list about your health. But in fact, studies suggest that people who have good social networks live longer and are physically and mentally healthier than people who are socially isolated. Connecting with other people is stimulating and challenging, and it often adds meaning and purpose to our lives. In fact, experts say that social connectedness is a key predictor of our health and our independence in later years. So let's talk about staying engaged with your friends, your family, and your community. In 2020, a study that was supported by a AARP Foundation found that social isolation, not surprisingly, can lead to loneliness in some people. But others can feel lonely without being socially isolated. This study also found that there are health risks associated with loneliness, and quite a serious health risk associated specifically with loneliness is about a 50% increased risk of dementia. And I know that word is one that we all just hate to hear. It's something that none of us wish to experience. So that's why we're here today to talk about ways in which we can influence our brain's health and be able to put off or hopefully avoid some of these concerns that we have about our brain health as we age. Excuse me, I'm having trouble talking. Excuse me. So how do we be social? Well, you could organize a book club, a game night, attend virtual community events, and here you are today doing exactly that. Consider adopting a pet sitting, or walking someone else's pet, or volunteer. Of course, volunteering is the way that I managed to be socially isolated. I can find it very easy to sit back in my lovely environment and just relax and read and use Amazon to bring my groceries in or whatever. But now I know that being social and being out there, whether it be virtually or preferably in person, can help my brain health. Now let's talk about the second pillar, engaging our brain. Studies have shown the positive effects of challenging our brain in new ways throughout our life. Our brain is stimulated, and it actually makes new neural connections when we learn new things and pursue new interests. So we suggest that you stay curious, give yourself a good mental workout by doing something that challenges your thinking, offers you enjoyment, and encourages you to grapple with new and complex ideas. And we've seen some wonderful performances where people have continued to be engaged in music and dance and those things that they enjoy. And those are perfect examples of ways to continually engage our brain. And then there are things that maybe you haven't even thought of. And some of these come from some of my fellow volunteers. Others, we have heard through AARP. Other ways to engage your brain. If you are driving to the store, take a different route home, or make your bed at a different time of day, or perhaps try getting out of bed on the opposite side than usual. Now, that may seem silly, but what it's doing is it's engraving a new path in your brain. Because when we get into what is literally a rut in our brain by doing the same thing all the time, that kind of leads us to a lethargy. It leads us to not challenging ourselves on a day-to-day basis. And I know it seems so silly for these simple things, but it actually makes a difference. Another one, when we talk about newer complex ideas, read occasionally from a different news source than what you get on a day-to-day basis to get a different viewpoint and potentially, challenge your thinking or how you've been viewing something else, or simply read a different genre of book. Okay, sorry, I'm just had a little hiccup with my, there we go. Okay, other ways, a little bit more out there in terms of, being with other people, take or teach a class, or at home, you can learn a new language or dance. There's some wonderful apps out there in which you can learn a language basically for free. And they're actually very, very good. I've been trying to learn Spanish recently using an online app. As we saw today, playing a musical instrument, doing complex arts and crafts, playing a challenging card or board game with people you know. So those are some ways to engage your brain. And moving on to the third pillar, managing stress. Well, perhaps this one isn't so surprising. But when we talk about stress, we often talk about stress just in a moment. But what really influences your brain health is when we talk about stress in the long term. And it's never too late to deal with stress because it can impact your long-term brain health. For example, I noticed that when I retired, I could take a deep breath again. I wasn't nearly as stressed out on a day-to-day basis as I was when I worked because I was in charge of my time. I was in charge of my activities. And I found that very, very rewarding. But sometimes you can't help stress in life, even if you are retired. So how might we deal with that? For example, exercising regularly does not only good for your body, it is good for your brain. Smile and laugh. Now that seems so simple, doesn't it? Just smile at yourself in the mirror, smile at the people that you pass on the street. Talk to someone who always entertains you, or, Worst case, go online and find some funny memes that just make you laugh on a regular basis. And I'm not being facetious. Find any outlet that you can to smile and laugh. And of course, you can always distract yourself from stress by taking a few moments to yourself with music or reading or going for a walk in a green space. Green spaces kind of help us just relax our brains, and we see things out in nature that can, relax us and help us feel happy. Also, confiding in friends. If there's something weighing on your mind, unloading it is a big help. Or there's, of course, meditation or other ways of simply being silent and still. And related to that, just sitting and taking deep, conscious breaths where we feel some of the bad energy leaving our bodies and bringing in the clean energy. So, and also, of course, taking stretch breaks and limiting your screen time. And of course, here comes pillar number 4, an ongoing exercise. Now, we've heard a lot about this, but you don't have to be a marathon runner. You simply have to move more. Get at least, this is what experts say, get at least 150 minutes of exercise each week. And that seems like an awful lot, but think about it as, say, over the space of 7 days a week, take 2 10-minute exercise breaks. And that's an easy way to get to 150 minutes of exercise. And the CDC tells us that 80% of Americans don't get enough exercise. So people like me are in good company, but that doesn't help my brain. So I know that I have to do a better job of moving. And walking is, of course, a great start. But beyond that, dancing, like we saw today, running, biking, strength training, and things like Tai Chi and yoga. Again, movement is what this pillar is all about. Getting active, again, can include walking, dancing, running, Tai Chi, yoga. We talked about that just a couple of minutes ago. And restorative sleep. Now, how can we get a good night's sleep as we age? Well, sleep does restore the brain. It's vital to our brain health, including that cognitive function that we're all so concerned about. And it's essential overall to our mental and physical health. So consider that we typically need 7 to 8 hours of sleep in a 24-hour period. And during a deep sleep time, the brain moves recent memories from the hippocampus to the hard drive neocortex. And that provides space in our brain for new information. You know how we sometimes feel like it's there, but I can't quite get hold of it? Well, we can improve that memory with sleep. Now, people at our age probably don't sleep the same way we did when we were 30 years old. That just doesn't happen. But we still try to get that 7 to 8 hour period of sleep in a day, even if it might be, broken up into 2 chunks. Not ideal, but it's better than not sleeping, on a regular basis. Try to maintain a regular sleep-wake schedule and expose yourself to outdoor light during the day. That really helps to set that internal clock of ours. Although our body's internal clock shifts, we can still do everything that we can and not worry about an occasional bad night of sleep. But if you have more than an occasional bad night of sleep, please talk to your medical care provider. And also adjust your caffeine intake. Keep pets that disturb your sleep out of your bedroom. I love my 2 cats, but they are not good bed partners. And so I really do have to close my door and put something in front of the door because they will bang it open if I give them the chance. But I have to do that in order to get a decent night's sleep. Also manage your fluids. Obviously, we need to hydrate well during the day. But as we get closer and closer to bedtime, restrict those fluids and food to maybe 3 hours before we go to bed. Now, some of us just need to stay hydrated for medical conditions that we have. We need to stay more hydrated, but just be aware that the closer you can get to bedtime and stop your fluids, that might help. And we've all heard, keep your smartphones, your electronics, your tablet out of the bedroom. Okay, because again, that light that they have in our faces doesn't do any good to that internal clock we talked about a minute ago, where we want to have light during the day and darkness at night. So consider you're doing relaxing things at night that are more like reading a physical book, or listening to a podcast or something like that. And lastly, our final pillar is to eat right. Of course, no big surprise. We hear this all the time, but what you eat impacts your brain as much as it does your physical body, the rest of your physical body. Now, there are many diets out there, and in diets, I don't mean lose weight diets. I mean meal plans, that have a lot of really good things going for them. And you might speak with your doctor for, the type of meals that you want to eat that are particularly good for you. But in general, for the best brain health, we are told that consuming things like fish and seafood, not surprisingly, nuts, grains, beans, leafy vegetables, and healthy fats like olive oil are some of the best foods for our brain. And of course, gaps still exist in our knowledge or effects of nutrients on our brain function, but this is the best information we have. And of course, as mentioned earlier, staying hydrated is important. We just have to balance that off with the effects on our sleep as we get late in the day. And again, more brain healthy foods like kale, spinach, broccoli, berries, vinegar, lemon, herbs, spices, salmon. Not so much on sardines myself, but again, those things within the pescatarian diet mostly are good for you. Walnuts and almonds. Like anything else, food is a balance, right? If we ate nuts all the time, those, that buildup of oil and fat wouldn't be good for us. But taken in moderation and balanced out, here are some of the great things. So we've gone through those 6 pillars quite fast, I might say, because we are doing this a little bit quicker than we usually give these presentations, but these points are also important. So I hope that they are helpful for you. So now let's talk about things that we have to be aware of that could be long-term risks to our brain health. Now, not surprisingly on this list, you see things like smoking and heart disease and diabetes, all of these things that can affect your circulation, and other elements of your health. And those, just like they are not good for your physical body, are not good for your brain as well. But let's look at a couple of things that might be just a little bit surprising to you. Depression. Depression doubles the risk for cognitive decline. We sort of touched on this earlier today. Depression isn't a normal part of aging. I mean, it certainly can come along with aging, but it's not something that you should say, well, I should expect that maybe I feel a little lonely or something like that. But as we were talking earlier, that avoiding social isolation, reaching out to people, or if you're feeling depressed, go talk to your doctor about it. Depression does not carry the stigma that it used to carry. So now people are finding it much easier to talk about this with their doctor, or perhaps with a friend who you also know may be dealing with it, or know someone who has dealt successfully with it. So we encourage you, if you are feeling down, if you're feeling lethargic, talk to your doctor about those patterns, and see if there's something more that you can do about them. And another risk to our health that was a surprise to me is hearing and vision loss. I know that many of us still really don't want to admit that maybe our hearing is not what it used to be. But what I didn't realize is that when you don't hear well, it actually has an effect on those neural pathways in your brain. So take advantage of, like, for example, AARP actually has a hearing test online, or go to Costco, go to a professional event of, that does auditory testing, and check and see how good your hearing really is. Because if you actually have hearing loss, I would not have realized that actually can have an effect on the cognitive function of my brain. Okay. So those are the ones that might be a little bit surprising that find on that list. So in wrapping this up, let's talk about what can you do today. Pick one thing out of what we've talked about that would support your brain health. One of the things that we all find is that if we take something on and just dive into it enthusiastically, trying to change many things at once, it just doesn't tend to work. Think of small first steps that you might take, thinking about all the things we've talked today. A small first steps, take that 1 10-minute walk this afternoon or during the lunch break, right? That is a great way to start those new habits. Add a serving of vegetables. For example, I eat eggs in the morning. So what do? I have peppers and spinach that maybe I prepared earlier in the week, and I take a little bit of that and I just put it in my eggs. A serving of vegetables. I can feel good about myself for that. And of course, most important, whether it be your brain health or your physical health, make appointments regularly for health screenings and your annual physical exam. Or if you just don't feel well, please reach out to your health professional. Now they even have virtual visits, which make it so much easier than it used to be. So please have that regular communications with your health provider. And then once you have decided that one thing that you're going to do, write it down. And put even a time and a date in which you're going to get that new habit started. And then share that with your friends for a little bit of accountability and encourage them to do the same thing. And guess what? We're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. We're not only doing one of those healthy physical things or eating things, but we're also getting in that social interaction that is so important for us. So I just wanted to leave you with some resources here. AARP has so many resources on so many topics, but it has because it has this partnership with the Global Council on Brain Health. It has an amazing library of information on this topic. And even though this screen shows 3 different places that you can look at, it all springs from aarp.org/brain health. Again, aarp.org/brain health. The moment you touch on that webpage, you see links to the Global Council on Brain Health, and you see a link to Staying Sharp at aarp.org. And the wealth of information. It's so many different directions, not only in what we've talked about today, but there are so many little ways in which you can watch short little videos or take little quizzes or actually do a game that helps to improve your brain health. You'll find all of those there. So I am going to ask Rachel to open up and see if anyone has any questions that might be on their mind at the moment. Does anyone have any questions they'd either like to sing out or put into the chat box?
Well, I would like to ask, you say 7 or 8 hours sleep a day. Is that including nap?
It can, yes. Now, the ideal is that, and again, this is based on being a little bit younger, the ideal was to get into that deep restorative sleep, which is harder to do if you're doing it in small bits. So say you're getting a decent amount of sleep. If a nap is helpful to you, add it right in. And if you are having trouble sleeping, a nap sounds like it's essential. So add it right into those 7 to 8 hours.
Oh, okay. So if you have a half hour a day and then you have 7 hours doing, regularly, So
I would say that you're doing quite well.
Okay,
So.
Thank you. Nice to hear.
Thank you. You as well.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions for me? If not, it has been a total pleasure speaking with you guys today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your program.
Thank you, Anne. We got a lot of information with you.
Absolutely. I'll stop sharing here so you guys can get on. Thank you.
Okay, so next we will turn to our second stage at King On's Rehab and Care Center. We are performing the Cantonese opera to our residents. 下面呢，我们会转到建安疗养中心的第二个舞台，来欣赏由 Grace Lau 团队带来的表演越剧。
胡意作情願驚夢散，風如情淚濕青衫馬。
喂，唔好意思啊，頭先咧我哋就話試一試啲音，因為大家時間緊迫。好啦，而家正式開始，鳳閣恩仇未了情，開始。
天散，空如情淚濕青衫啊！ 夜山熟悉春晚兒走南山，永我長千段唐謠何數，新歌對夢閒，水落花春迷人，天上人人馬兒領走人行重山
好，我们谢谢这个越剧团的演出。那下面呢，我们将会转到我们的第3个现场，我们的东区社区中心。下面我们来欣赏4季合唱团表演的合唱《橄榄树》以及快乐的聚会。
好，大家早安！今天周年庆，我们很高兴有邀请到这个4季合唱团来参加我们的这个演出。那我们的指挥是信珍，还有伴奏是 Irene。那这是我们的漂亮的团员，这里还有一位特别帮我们打鼓伴奏，我们等一下会有很快乐的歌曲，所以打鼓伴奏是淑芬哈。那我们今天第一首演唱的是叫做《橄榄树》，很有名的，在台湾的一个民歌啊，《橄榄树》。 第二首是快乐的聚会。好，现在我们就准备开始。
这一条吗？
没有，谢谢。
这一条。
有安可曲吗？
没有，
太可惜了，
期待下次吧。
真的。
好，我们谢谢合唱团的朋友们来给我们带来这么好听的音乐。那下面呢，我们将会又把现场又转回我们的西雅图社区中心。Now let's turn back to Seattle Community Center. Enjoy the line dance presented by Linda Charles and her students. 我们下面呢将会请 Linda 老师和她的学生进行排舞表演。Linda 老师是在我们西雅图社区中心，每个星期二早上都会教授排舞的课程。她已经有很长时间的教授排舞的经验。那我们现在稍等一下，请他们来表演，谢谢。
好的，现在我们需要稍等一下。那我们现在先来给大家展示一下我们 Talent Show 的视频，是由我们东区社区中心的书法老师来给我们展示一下，谢谢。
开始了。好，我们的书法班是星期五早上10点到12点，欢迎大家来参加我们的书法班，跟大家聊聊书法，可以大家见个面挺好，好，谢谢大家。
Every day my papa would work to help to make ends meet, to see that we would eat, keep those shoes upon my feet. Every night my papa would take and tuck me in my bed, kiss me on my head after all the prayers were said. Growing up with him was easy, time just flew on by. The years began to fly, he aged and so did I. I could tell that Mama wasn't well, Papa knew, and deep down so did she, so did she. When she died, Papa broke down and cried. All he said was, God, why not take me? Every night he sat there sleeping in his rocking chair. He never went upstairs, oh, because she wasn't there. Then one day my papa said, son, I'm proud the way you've grown. Make it on your own, I'll be okay alone. Every time I kiss my children, Papa's words ring true. Your children live through you, they'll grow and need you too. I remember every word my Papa used to say. I live them every day. He taught me well that way. Every night my Papa would take, tuck me in my bed, kiss me on my head when my prayers were said. Every night my Papa would take, tuck me in my bed, tuck me in my bed. Hello, darling, well, hello, darling. It's so nice to have you back where you belong. You're looking swell, darling, and I can tell, darling, you still crowing, you still growing, you still going strong. I feel the room swaying while the band's playing one of your old favorite songs from way back when. So take her rap, fellas, find her an empty lap, fellas, and darling, we'll never go away again. I said hello, darling, well, what do you know, darling, it's so nice to have you back where you belong. You're looking swell, darling, and I can tell, darling, you're still growing, you're still growing, you're still going strong. Just feel that room swaying, 'cause the band's playing one of your old familiar songs from way back when. So golly gee, fellas, find her an empty knee, fellas, and darling, we'll never go away again. I mean, hello, darling, what do you know, darling? It's so nice to have you back where you belong. I can tell, darling, you're looking swell. Swell, Dolly, yeah, you're still growing, you're still growing, you're still going strong. Just feel that room swaying while the band keeps on playing one of your old familiar songs from way back when. So, golly gee, fella, have a little faith in me, fella. Dolly will never go away again. Just feel that room swaying while that band is playing one of your old familiar songs from way back when. So, golly gee, fella, find her vacancy, fella. Dolly will never go away. Promise you never go away. Dolly will never go away. Look out, old Dolly is back.
Okay, thank you, Linda and her students bring this wonderful dance. And is everyone enjoying the performance? Are we ready to get up and do some exercise together through enhanced fitness? Enhanced fitness focus on exercise that strengthen your body and improve your balance. It is a great way to prevent falling. At King On, we host this class 2 times a week on Monday and Wednesday afternoon from 4 to 5 p.m. 谢谢 Linda 和她的学生给我们带来这个舞蹈。那下面呢，我们请大家一起站起来，跟我们一起做强健平衡运动跳。Enhanced Fitness 呢是
运动时间哦，妹妹来牵哦，到妈妈旁边。各位现场、各位线上的观众，大家好。我们今天要在 Enhanced Fitness， 那 Enhanced Fitness 呢，正确的服装是像明真总跟这个 director 他现在穿的服装，我今天因为主持节目所以来不及换服装，不好意思。那 Enhanced Fitness 呢，会需要大家需要大家把这次的服装穿好、穿轻松穿轻松，然后呢，记得我们要记得把水放在旁边然后要把环境弄整齐，不要摔倒。那么我们现在就开始示范一个短短的，大概7、8分钟的短短的。那Enhanced Fitness 我们会，Enhanced Fitness 呢，我们会那个会示范从最前面的，我们会从先 warm up 之后我会跳 aerobic， 然后 aerobic 之后呢，我们会有重量训练，然后再去做一个伸展的动作。OK， 所以我现在会从 warm up， 然后再来做 aerobic， 然后再来做 cool down， 或者是说重量训练，然后再做伸展的动作。我们会做一个示范，大概是7分钟、8分钟左右的时间。那大家准备好了吗？我们就开始咯。好，我们会先伸展 warm up， 我们会从脚从头到脚都会伸展到 ，OK。然后我们要头身伸展，头向左边，回来，再一次，向右边，回来，再一次，然后头往左边点，回来， 动而已。再一次，右边点，回来，然后转肩膀，往后，再往后，好，往前。我们这次的课程呢，每一个动作都会做比较多次哦。那就现在只是用它示范给大家看。好，把手举起来，放下，举起来，放下。好，我们开始做我们的 aerobic。其实我们这次的伸展warm up还是会比较多哦。那因为现在时间比较有限，所以我们会直接进到 aerobic。那 aerobic 呢会让大家会比较多的平衡，然后还有比较多心肺功能的锻炼。好，来，先慢慢的开始，然后往前，推，好，像老鹰飞，手打开，手打开。好，可以踏步。如果你觉得太慢的话，你可以稍微快一点点；如果觉得太快，你可以稍微放慢一点，都可以跟着你自己的步调走。好，有没有很羡慕小朋友在跳有分红的电子舞？我们也是可以跟着一起跳啊！来，可以的话就摸脚踝，不可以的话我们摸膝盖。有分红的电子舞可能快一点，如果你的能力比较好的话，觉得今天比较好，可以快一点。那如果没办法的话呢，慢一点可以。那也可以点后面，我们也可以点后面。我们的动作其实是很缓和的，所以如果呢有手不舒服的，或者手曾经有接受骨折，害怕有一些比较激烈的运动会让自己不舒服的话呢，都很适合来参加这个enhanced training，因为它可以按照自己的能力去做调整。来，把脚举起来，把脚举起来。接下来我们等一下会去做重量训练，然后还有一些伸展的动作啊。我们换明真上来，帮我们介绍重量训练，可以带给大家比较多的肌力训练。
好，谢谢如萍，欢迎大家荧幕前的各位来宾跟我一起做哈。现在我们做的是重量训练，那是希望大家手上能够拿那个2罐水，或者有水的就拿水，在家居家最方便哈。那我们现在就假设我们手上大家都有拿，好，我们先练我们的主要核心肌群的上背，往上提，往上提，往上提哈，拉到最高，放下。荧幕前的观众们跟着我一起来，坐着也能做。我们这个强化训练哈，坐着也能做。好，我们现在往前。假想你的手是拿着2罐水哈，或者是，其实我们正式的上课呢是会希望大家带着那个重量在手背上面。好，往上提。这目的在训练你的二头肌哈，股二头肌，就是你的大手背啦。好，训练大手背。好，再来呢，我们现在手背往前哈，往前收，是不是在练我们的伸展哈？ 对，很好，好。对，我们今天因为转绳，所以我们做简单的动作。接下来这样子哈，把你手弓这样90度角，然后撑开，合，撑开，合，我们做3次就好哈，撑开，合，尽量的夹紧哈。接下来往上拉，拉拉拉拉拉，手背双背是夹紧的，手肘是夹紧的，往上拉。我们拉我们的左手很好，放下。来往上拉，放下，往上拉，上手会不会觉得有点紧紧的哈？这是正常的。好，放下。来，我们放下，松一松哈，松一松我们的上手背。大家刚刚有感觉到有拉哈。好，接下来我们做轻松的啦，我们做打拳的动作。Enhanced fitness 非常适合我们高龄的老人。不小心有手断，因为骨松的关系，有手断过，有脚断过，有髋关节断过的老人家，在家里呢，可以站着就跟我站着一起做。那最好其实就是坐着跟我一起做。那这个它所需要的活动能量没有很高，可是它非常适合你平常做伸展哈。好，好，我们再来做最后深呼吸，往上提，吸。呼，吸气，呼气，吸气，呼气。好，接下来再做一个难度高一点哈。我现在请你们把右手往左边放，左手拉起来，用你的左手把你的右手往你的身体内侧压，压压压压压。好，放松。来，再来一次，把你的左手往你的胸部压压压压压，好，放松。来，最后一次，好，放松。来，我们换另外一只手哈，左手往胸前横，右手举起来，然后右手往你的身体内侧拉。你的大手背会有一点感觉哈，这是正常的。来放松，来再一次，1、2、3，慢慢压哈，这都是在拉伸展。来放松，最后一次，来往内侧压，好放松。这是在我们刚刚 aerobic 做完了之后要做的事哈。来，最后一个动作就是把我们的右手往上举，然后放到你的后背。左手举起来，摸着你的右手手肘，略微把它往下压，哈，平常大概就是能够压到你的那个右手放在你的脊椎骨中间哦，脊椎骨的位置，然后要左手尽量拉好。那行的人呢，他可以把他左手去跟他的右手相扣，啊，如果你可以做到的话，这是最好的伸展。同时拉到你的脊椎，同时拉到你的上下手背，好，没关系，慢慢来，不要勉强，慢慢做哈。好，放开。来，我们现在试着做另外一只手，左手举起来，放到你的右后侧哈，右手呢去摸你的左手那个手肘，把它稍微调整，让你的左手摸到你的脊椎的位置。尽量哈，我们尽量不勉强。可以的话呢，把你的可以的人啦，我们不勉强。右手去勾你的左手，尽量勾，尽量勾，要抓得到。抓不到没关系，因为这第一次也刚我们伸展还有活动没有达到高的。好，很好哦，伸展。脊椎就是往后拉，只要拉就在告诉你脊椎拉紧，两只手拉紧，好放松，是感觉有拉到了，好，今天有拉到。那脚步的动作呢？我们时间还够吗？还有时间吗？不够了哈，抱歉，我们今天只是 demo 场哈，今天只是那个示范场。那非常欢迎大家一起来参加我们建安这个行政团队，还有我们2位老师，就是我们的 Selina 老师还有那个 Jenny 老师在线上。每一个星期的1、3下午4点到5点， 跟大家一起分享我们这个居家强化运动这个活动。谢谢大家，谢谢大家。
好，谢谢明珍，谢谢如萍。
现在把现场呢交还给我们的那个 Rachel。
好，谢谢你们。OK，Thank you，明珍 and 如萍。Okay, so for the next 30 minutes, we welcome Lori from Kingland Gallen to share about Hospice 101. 下面接下来我们30分钟，我们的欢迎有 Kingland Gallen 代表 Lori 来给我们分享安宁关怀的基本知识。Hello, Lori.
Hi, thank you guys.
Hey, yeah. Okay, I will give you to start.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me today. I really appreciate that. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about hospice and just what you may or may not know. Let me see if I can actually change this a bit, but nope, it's not letting me. Okay. So I like this little quote. It says, "You only live once" is only a false statement. You live every single day and you only die once. And I think that's very appropriate when we're talking about this. So an overview of hospice services is we care for individuals who are nearing end of life and support their loved ones during this really difficult time. Hospice is patient and family-centered care. We also have a palliative care program, which is a non-nurse-based program. And then recently at Klein Gallen Home, we are going to have a hospice-focused care unit where we have specifically 28 hospice beds, and we're redesigning it, and it's going to be very, very nice. So what is hospice? Hospice is a model of anyone who has a terminal diagnosis and you're no longer seeking any curative treatment. And a physician agrees, so your doctor agrees, that they wouldn't be surprised or shocked if you or your loved one passed away in the next 6 months. Because no one really has a crystal ball to be able to say when someone might be nearing end of life, but they wouldn't be shocked or surprised. So what does hospice do for families? And that's something that we get asked all the time. What do we do? What type of things can you help us with? We take good care of our loved one. So what extra can you do for me? And I like to say that hospice is that extra supersized care. So a lot of times when somebody is nearing end of life, there's lots of questions. So you have 24-hour access to our nurses and our doctors at all times. Because we all know something happens and it's 3 in the morning and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? You have a multidisciplinary care team. And what that means is you have a nurse, a social worker, a nurse practitioner. You've got a chaplain for your spiritual needs. We've got massage therapy, volunteer supports, and then hospice supports you with medical equipment. So those wheelchairs, the walkers, the hospital beds, medications. Most medications are covered, not all, but most. And then we pay for all of your supplies. So soft goods, diapers and wipes and creams and all of the things to bathe. We pay for all of those types of things. It's included in your insurance benefit. So often we get asked, what type of coverage covers this? So one of the primary payers is Medicare. And what people don't know is that Medicare is one of the only programs that Medicare feels is so important that they pay 100% for it. So Medicare covers hospice care almost 100%. Sometimes there's not a couple of medications that aren't covered, but everything else is covered 100% when you're in your own home for hospice care. We also take private insurance. So if you don't have Medicare and you have some other insurance, we would take that. And then if you are on state insurance, we would take that as well. So we try to make sure that we cover all the insurances so you don't have to. You have hospice physicians available to you 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You've got access to our services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then referral sources. If somebody is needing to call in a new order for hospice, we're available all the time. And we don't do holidays, so we're here to support you all the time. One of our other programs is a palliative care program. So this program is designed if you're not ready for hospice or you're not there yet. We have a social work team that runs our palliative care program. They identify your personal health goals. They clarify some of your medical choices, and they help you to sort out some of the disease progression or some of the things that may be coming in your disease. And they help support you with those end-of-life services. Maybe you need to get your will ready, so they'll help you with that. Maybe you haven't chosen a funeral home for the future, so they would help you with that. So they kind of help you plan out that future and things that may or may not happen right away. It is initiated by a physician referral, so we won't do this unless we have a physician saying that you might need some discussions with palliative care. So we work with your doctors. And then right now we're only servicing King County, so you have to live in King County for us to be able to service you. But as I said before, this is a non-nurse-based program, so it's mainly social work-based, just helping you get in line those goals of care for the future. So there's several levels of hospice care. Probably the number one that we do, 85% of what we do is in-home. We do this in the comfort of your own home, because you know that people who are nearing end of life, they want to be comfortable, they want to be surrounded by loved ones, they want to be able to be with their pets. So we do this in your own home. You do not have to go anywhere, which is lovely. If you're in an assisted living facility or an independent living facility, we come to you. So we make sure that we meet you where you are. And then if the care becomes too great, or you are one of those individuals who don't want to be at home, we do have availability at Klein Gallen Home for skilled nursing care. And that would be 24 hours round the clock nursing care. So we have that availability as well. And sometimes those loved ones that are taking care of somebody in end of life need a little bit of a break. And we call that respite care. So each benefit period of a hospice care benefit, they are allowed to be in a respite where they get a 5-day break. So we will help you arrange to be taken to another facility for those 5 days. And that way it gives your loved one a little bit of a break if you were to be this person. And caring for somebody who's ill is very stressful, not only for you, but also the family. So something cannot control at home, we do have the ability to have general inpatient services. And we also have ability for continuous care. So general inpatient services, if your symptoms are not controlled at home, we would maybe put you into a hospital for making this under control. And that's not needed. We're able to control everything in the comfort of where you want to be. And if there's a need, we can come out and do continuous care where we're there all the time, walking you through the journey. Okay. Some of the things that we can do, and this is different than other agencies, we evaluate what you need on a case-by-case basis. So that's one of the things that Klein-Gallen's medical directors really specialty on, is it's not a normal. The doctors will look at your case and find out whether or not it's something that they want to do. So sometimes they will do a PCA, and that's a PCA is a pain pump. Sometimes catheters, medicine down there quickly. Sometimes we'll consider doing an epidural for pain. And these are very rare instances, just to mention that sometimes things are not needed because we are really good at managing and controlling symptoms. So it sounds scary, but this is not something that is the norm. If needed, we will absolutely look at these options. We do pleural drains in case there's a fluid buildup. We consider feeding tubes to keep people nutritionally stable. And then in very rare cases, TPN, which is a nutritional supplement B. And then sometimes we'll do a palliative radiation treatment if that helps with whatever disease going on. Okay. So as we all know, we never can predict symptoms. So we give out a comfort kit. And what that means is it's a kit that has all these different medications in there. It's already in the home, so we can get this to you quickly. One of the things that we don't do is we don't give you medications unless you need them. So it's, if you become on hospice services, we're not just going to give you a bunch of medications. It's something that we don't give unless you need it or want. You as the individual to make your own journey the way you want it. So some of the things that are in these kits are pain medications, morphine, lorazepam helps with some anxiety, ondansetron helps with nausea, vomiting, and has for secretions, and 5-day supply for these types of things, so that if it's needed, you have it on hand. Because we all know when something happens, it's usually in the morning when nobody's away. We need to call our nurse and say, I do, and the nurse comes out and they have that medication available to them to give. Okay. Happen, pain and symptoms is in their end stage of life. So we physically, our goal is to keep people really, so any of these typically live about 40 than or who don't have hospice care. And that is because of the fact their pain and symptoms are well managed hospice.
Thank you. So 因为现在我们我们的 speaker 他可能那边的那个 WiFi 可能有点问题，所以我们稍等一下。
Can you hear me now, Rachel?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Sorry, I lost connection there for a second. So can you?
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no. Okay. So let's see, where are we? So the pain medication protocol is only if we need to initiate these types of things to control pain. We are very ingrained in making sure that you don't take stuff. We want to make sure that things are not misused or any risks and harms. So we'll monitor that with you to make sure that these things are not are used in the home. So I like to make sure we do that. Then, as I mentioned earlier, we order supplies for you and they ship directly to your home, so you don't have to go anywhere. Some of these supplies include like diapers and wipes and some chucks for the bed or some shampoo for your hair to keep you clean and presentable so that you can visit with your loved ones. And we do this for you so you don't have to worry about those types of things. And then, some of the things we do require that a doctor orders this for you. We're going to need to know why they think hospice is appropriate, why hospice, why now. We may ask for insurance information and weights and labs, and then your physical. Why would we be a candidate for hospice, and what's changed? And one of the things that I like to say is not everyone is appropriate for hospice at the time. So sometimes it's not the right time, and not the right time. Sometimes you're going to get better hospice, and we call it graduate you of hospice services. So not something that you're locked to. It's something that you can choose to come on and off service at all times. So it's a personal choice. If you don't think that it's a benefit for you, you can decide not to be on hospices, and people do that all the time. Or you're stable, it's a good thing because that means you have a little more time than we thought you did. And then finally, this is our contact information. We do consultations or discussions for free. We can do these with our nurse or our liaison who specializes in knowing all the questions and answers about hospice services. All you have to give a call, and we're happy to talk to you and work through questions, concerns, and whatnot. And you're at no obligation to sign up for hospice if you call us for that. But it's always nice to have information in advance, so what's important to you and whatnot. Does anybody have any questions for me? And this is a subject. Most people don't want to talk about end of life or hospice care. It's kind of that, old 70s talk. We don't want to talk about when it comes to dying, but it's often really helpful to talk about this so that your families don't have a burden. Okay, well, that's my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Lori. Let's move to the stage. Yes, thanks. Let's move the stage to our Seattle campus. Let's see if Chinese folk and music show ready or not. Hi, thank you. So let's enjoy Chinese folk and music show. 下面让我们一起来欣赏王佩声乐艺术中心的学生为我们带来的传统中华文化与音乐表演。王佩声乐艺术中心是王佩老师 Angela Wang 所带领的一群小朋友们。那我们小朋友们非常的具有活力、精神。那他们有好多个小朋友今天会为我们带来一连串的好听的歌曲。第一首呢，会由伊恩倩的中文名字叫做陈燕义，他为我们带来《这世界有那么多人》。
大家好，祝爷爷奶奶中秋节快乐。
这世界有那么多人，人群里藏着一扇门。我迷蒙的眼睛里长存初见你蓝色青春。这世界有那么多人，多幸运，我有个我们。这悠长命运中的沉稳，常让我往远方出神。灰树叶飘转在池塘，看飞机轰的一声去，远向光影的长廊。脚步声叫嚷，灯一亮，无人的空荡。晚风中闪过几种从前啊，飞驰不旋转，已不见了吗？远光中走来你一声晴朗，身旁那么多人，可世界不声不响。这世界有那么多人，多幸运，我有个我们。这 让我往远方出神。灰树叶飘转在池塘，看飞机轰的一声去，远向光阴的长廊。脚步声叫嚷，灯一亮，无人的空档。晚风中闪过几种从前啊，飞驰中旋转，已不见了吗？月光中走来你一声晴朗，身旁那么多人，可是皆不声不响。笑声中拂过几种旧模样，留在梦田里，永远不散场。暖光中醒来，好多话要讲，身旁那么多人，可是皆不声不响。这世界有那么多人，活在我飞扬的青春，在泪水浸湿过的长吻，常让我向阿香出神。
谢谢。
不要激动，那么大。对呀。
谢谢，谢谢伊恩。下一位演出的是由12岁的 Isabella 童为我们带来《天空之城》，让我们欢迎 Isabella 童。
公公婆婆中秋节快乐！闪烁在遥远天上，闪耀着光芒。有一座美丽的城，隐隐漂浮在云中央。不知道它的模样，因为找到它方向。但愿能够向天空飞去，找到梦中的探访天际的家乡，你是我的翅膀，背上那充满希望的行囊，追寻着理想。啊，在天空的那座城，月笑野花飘香，在天空的那座城，生死歌悠扬，传说在遥远天上，闪耀着光芒。有一座美丽的城，隐隐漂浮在云中央。不知道它的模样，因为找 声此刻悠扬，在天空的那座城，有小野花飘香，在天空的那座城，鸟声此刻悠扬，鸟声此刻悠扬。谢谢。
谢谢可爱的 Isabella。Our next program is the Chinese classic dance presented by Evelyn Chen and her friend. 下一个节目让大家欣赏 Evelyn Chen 和她的朋友们所带来的古典舞《燕无歇》。
只看他回眸，秋水背影去，只因他颠簸去苦落，借三两苦酒，方知离不可。只看他将思念摇落，
心多憔悴，爱浮于东流的水，生命丰沛，抵不过天公不作美。往事回味，不过是弹指一挥，日复日往，春秋水属我愚昧。你爱着谁，倾吐了几道伤，我锁着眉，最是相思断人肠。老雁纷飞，寂寥的夜里泪两行，这段遗憾成故人自难忘。你爱着谁，倾吐了几道伤，爱多可悲，跟彼此天涯各一方。冷月空对，半浮沉无处话凄凉，到爱不回，刻骨亦难成双。心多憔悴，爱浮于东流的水，生命丰沛，抵不过天公不作美。往事回味，不过是弹指一挥，日复日往，春秋水属我愚昧。你爱着谁，倾吐了几道伤，我锁着眉，最是相思断人肠。老雁纷飞，寂寥的夜里泪两行，这段遗憾成故人自难忘。你爱着谁，倾吐了几道伤，爱多可悲，跟彼此天涯各一方。冷月空对，半浮沉无处话凄凉，到爱不回，刻骨亦难成双。你爱着谁，倾吐了几道伤，我锁着眉，最是相思断人肠。老雁纷飞，寂寥的夜里泪两行，这段遗憾成故人自难忘。
谢谢 Evelyn Chen 和她的好朋友们为我们带来这么可爱又这么优雅的古典舞。下一个节目是王佩声乐艺术中心的学生为我们带来的音乐表演。Next is the Chinese folk and music show again. 佳宇为我们带来一首《凉凉》，让我们欢迎佳宇。
间微凉，繁花落地成霜。你在远方眺望，耗尽所有目光，不思量，自难相忘。遥遥桃花凉，前世你怎舍下这一黑心茫茫？还故作不痛不痒不坚强，都是假象。凉凉夜色为你思念成河，落日凡尘上轻着我。浅浅岁月覆满爱人袖，片片芳菲如水流。凉凉天色潋滟一生花色，化作春泥呵护着我。深结一度情结难了，这旧的心还有几分前生的恨。几分前世的恨。也曾鬓微霜，也曾因你回光，悠悠岁月漫长，怎能浪费时光去流浪，去换成长。灼灼桃花凉，前世你怎舍下这一海心茫茫？还故作不痛不痒不坚强，都是假象。凉凉天色为你思念成河，化作春泥呵护着我。浅浅岁月覆满爱人袖，片片芳菲如水流。凉凉天意潋滟一生花色，落入凡尘上轻着我。深结一度情结难了，这旧的心还有几分前生的恨。三生三世恍然如梦，许的年风干泪痕。若是回忆不能再相认，就让情分落九尘。凉凉十里何时还会传神？又见树下一阵风存。花摇云流水无情，也让人有爱恨，难透那花的春。50年前尘。谢谢。
谢谢佳宇为我们带来这样情感丰沛的凉凉。接下来是我们11岁的 Eileen Ping 带来一首 Trouble is a Friend， 让我们欢迎她。
Trouble will find you no matter where you go. Oh, oh. No matter if you're fast, no matter if you're slow. Oh, oh. The eye of the storm wanna cry in the morning. Oh, oh. You're fine for a while, but you start to lose control. He's there in the dark, he's there in my heart. He waits in the wings, he's gotta play a part. Trouble is a friend, yeah, trouble is a friend of mine. Oh. Trouble is a friend, but trouble is a foe. Oh, oh. No matter what I feed him, he always seems to grow. Oh, oh. He sees what I see and he knows what I know. Oh, oh. So don't forget as you ease on down the road. He's there in the dark, he's there in my heart. He waits in the wings, he's gotta play a part. Trouble is a friend, yeah, trouble is a friend of mine. Oh, 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 so don't be alarmed if he takes you in the arm. I won't let him win, but I'm a sucker for his charm. Trouble is a friend, yeah, trouble is a friend of mine. Oh, I hate the way he makes me feel, and how I try to make him leave. I try, oh, oh, I try. He's there in the dark, he's there in my heart. He waits in the wings, he's gotta play a part. Trouble is a friend, yeah, trouble is a friend of mine. Oh, oh, so don't be alarmed if he takes you in the arm. I won't let him win, but I'm a sucker for his charm. Trouble is a friend, yeah, trouble is a friend of mine. Oh, ooh,
谢谢可爱的 Elan。下一位是付明礼。付明礼小朋友，他是一位10年级的高中生。值此中秋佳节，想要把这一首《月牙湾》送给大家，祝福大家佳节好运连连，月圆事事圆。让我们欢迎付明礼。
敦煌天空的沙砾，带出我们的记忆。我从半路看回去，这情话慢慢好玩具。梦想穿过了细雨，放亮了多少的场景。爱情像一本游记，无意挑衅它的谜语。看月牙湾下的泪光，在丝路之上被遗忘，是谁的心愿？孤单的留下，他还好吗？我多想爱他，那永恒的泪凝固 呼唤，就让我融化。雨水烟花，像我翅膀，向着我爱的人追吧。嘟嘟嘟嘟嘟嘟，yeah。我看月牙湾下的泪光，在丝路之上被遗忘，是谁的心啊，孤单的留下，他还好吗？我多想爱他，那永恒的泪凝固那一句话，也许可能蒸发，是谁的爱啊，比泪水坚强，轻声呼唤，就让我融化。每一滴雨水烟花，中我翅膀，向着我爱的人追吧。是谁的心啊，孤单的留下，他还好吗？我多想爱他，那永恒的泪凝固那一句话，也许可能蒸发。谁的爱啊，比泪水坚强，轻声呼唤，就让我融化。每一滴雨水烟花，中我翅膀，向着我爱的人追吧。谢谢。
谢谢明理可爱的歌声。接下来我们会由 Evelyn 和她的好朋友带来好听的歌曲《今宵多珍重》。Next is the Cantonese song presented by Evelyn and her friends. Let's welcome Evelyn.
亂舞激花底錯對逢，難任垂頭淚湧，此際行月朦朧，愁緒如何自控，悲哀都一樣痛，情義如能互通，相分不必相送。放下愁緒，今宵請你多珍重。那日重現，只恐相見亦匆匆。懷裏情人在怨，相愛偏不能容。情人無言地哭，心怎不隱隱痛？ 殘紅亂舞，激花底初到逢。難禁垂頭淚湧，此際幸月朦朧。愁緒如何自控？悲哀都一樣痛。情義如能互通，相分不必相送。放下愁緒，今宵請你多珍重。那日重見，只恐相見亦匆匆。淚情人在怨，相愛偏不能容。情人無言地哭，心怎不隱隱痛。多謝。
Thank you, Evelyn and her friends, to bring this beautiful dance and singing to us. I hope everyone enjoyed the show today. With that, we have now come to the conclusion of the event. I hope that you enjoyed all the performances that our members worked hard to prepare. Thank you for attending this event and making it so successful. Again, thank you everyone for joining us for this year's Seniors Day, and hope you all have a great rest of the day and happy Mid-Autumn Festival. 谢谢各位嘉宾给我们带来精彩的表演。我们今年的敬老节将近尾声，希望大家都能够享受这些精心准备的演出。谢谢大家来参加，让我们的中秋敬老节圆满完成。谢谢。
非常谢谢大家今天莅临我们的现场，感谢各位嘉宾。我们今年2022年中秋敬老佳节圆满结束，那欢迎大家随时到我们建安的2个活动中心，一个是西雅图的城区中心，随时来找我哈。那我们现在呢，现场是我们东区在贝城所开辟的现场。那我们都知道，由于这个 COVID-19 已经让我们3次，今年第3次了哈，都是举办这个线上的那个活动那因为我们呢，鉴于我们不能够大型团聚，于是我们今年就开辟这个小现场，让大家小欢聚。那非常感谢各位嘉宾能够愿意到我们这个小现场来跟我们一起度过这个欢乐的中秋节。这是2022建安为大家举行的中秋节，还有我们的99重阳敬老节的节目。那我们欢迎大家随时到东区这边来找我，或者是到我们西雅图有怎么样的那个想法啦，或者是说在健康这一块呢，让我们大家一起健健康康每天都是快快乐乐哈，活力100。那也欢迎大家，我们持续明年再见，明年2023中秋佳节再见，谢谢大家，谢谢，拜拜，拜拜，明年见，拜拜。今年度嘛，我们就是这个小。